Okay, so in this first set of mares, the deciding factors we are looking at are going to be top line, heart girth, and head femininity. So with top line, again, we're looking for a shorter top line relative to their underline, their underbelly here. Heart girth is referring from the withers here down to their chest. So this length we want to be long and deep, and preferably it should be deeper or longer than their legs, okay, or their front legs here. So that's heart girth and head femininity. We want trimness, we want a good shape, and ideally we are looking for a uniform triangle overall. Okay, should be soft, good transitions throughout the ears, the eyes, muzzle, and so on. So as we look at this class, we're comparing only 1 and 2. And when I'm looking at top line right off the bat, okay, I'm going to draw right here, okay, from their withers down to behind their front legs. This is where I'm drawing my first line, okay, in my head. Okay, I'm seeing this down here. Next, okay, I'm going to go back to the rear up here, right before the rump, go down right here, okay, right where this connects to the gasket here. All right, so I'm looking at this line and this line here. And ideally, what I want is a good uniform trapezoid. All right, if this top line is too close to the length from here to here, I know I don't have a very balanced horse. Another perspective that you can take is you cut this section out of the horse, okay, with your eyes, and then you move this whole section on top of their rump. And that should match up to the length from their rump where you cut initially here to the rear. All right. And so let's compare these two. Take a second on your own, pause this video, and take a look on which one do you think has a shorter top line compared to their underline. And again, you can also take this to where you cut this section out, paste it on the back end, and it should be closer to one of these sections here. All right. Now, after taking a quick look at this, okay, what I notice is that this top line reaches all the way back on number 1, way back here. Okay, if we compare that to here, okay, his top line on number 2 starts his withers here, straight down, and then it cuts back, okay? If you can notice right here, right before his gaskin connects, this is that muscle, right before his hock down here. So this gaskin, right, you can see how that reaches back a little further, and then his underline goes about, maybe a hand further back, okay, versus this one is right on it, okay? So that is telling me that 2 is placed over 1 based off of just the top line itself, okay? Next thing we're going to look at is heart girth. Now, again, I said that heart girth starts at the withers. So this is right at the base of their neck right here, going all the way down to their chest. So imagine a line from here all the way down, okay? And we're looking at that length, okay? And we really want the deepest heart girth, okay? And so when we compare these guys, okay, again, the withers are going to start here down to the front of her chest here, okay? Take a second, look at the heart girth. Which one do you think has the deeper chested or the deeper heart girth? Now, this one's a little tough. I would say, visually standing back, it's kind of hard to tell. However, 2 does have a deeper heart girth overall. And another thing you can compare it to, just how we cut off this section when we're comparing our top line and underline here. Another tip that you can do is you start at the withers here. We draw our line for our heart girth. Then we take that length, that imaginary line in our heads here, and we paste it on top of their legs. All right. Ideally, this heart girth should be the same, if not longer, than our legs below them. Okay. If you take a look at 1, all right, she's got some really long legs. All right, she's really high set on here, and so her heart girth looks relatively the same. It's a little shorter here, but if you were to take this line, paste it onto our legs here, you can tell she kind of comes up short. That imaginary line maybe goes from here down to me here, and then we've got all this extra length here if you were to compare just the heart girth to the length of their legs, okay? So again, ideally we want to draw that imaginary line for heart girth, paste it on top of their legs. We don't really want them to stand too high here, all right? Next, head femininity. All right, this one we're looking for really clean, smooth transitions. We don't want any bony features or hard transitions between the muscles, the ears, any of the muzzle. Okay, so I would say the biggest defining feature that I see, especially when it comes to their head femininity, is probably in their jaw. So if you take a look at this first mare here, you can see kind of the features that are kind of poking out here next to her eye and down to her jaw, and then it cuts over. All right. I would say that one has a very masculine shape. So it's clean cut. It's very, very hard in its angles and proportions. And then as you look at mare 2, right, she's a lot softer. I can't see a ton of definition here. And that's really what we're looking for is smooth transitions. We don't want any blocky features. You know, she's kind of got a large jaw that's very well defined up here. We want to be able to see this in a smooth transition that wraps all the way around her muzzle and up through her up through her jaw and up through her head here too. I would say the head is pretty hard to tell just in general off of some of these photos. Sometimes they don't take the best of pictures as we go through here. And so with all that said in mind, all right, so we looked at Topline. Again, that was that cookie cut piece that we took out of the middle section here. Okay. Heart girth, that was from the withers down to the chest. Again, that should be about the same length, if not longer, than our legs down below here. Remember, one was a little too high set in her shoulders and a little too high up here. And again, head femininity, I said that was a little challenging from these pictures, but we really want more of an elegant, I guess you could say pretty looking face versus like a blocky, square, angular one. All right. So that is the first class, and this class is placed 2/1.